Greetings, everybody. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Project Zomboid, King of Louisville, episode 22. Lookout Deck. So, with any luck, that fire marshal truck is going to be operable. And now this generator is 100% topped up. So I probably don't have to worry about that for a long time. Oh, there's another grouping of them. I'll try to avoid these zombies so I can just go straight to the truck. This thing looks pretty beat up, but we'll see. I think it has gasoline in it, though. Okay, yeah, this thing's toast. I'm not even going to bother trying to rescue this car. It's beyond saving. It might have some axes in the trunk or something, but this thing's trash. Sound the alarm? I could. Wouldn't benefit me at all to bring in a whole bunch of zombies to the gas station that I need to frequent. So sounding the alarm is one of the dumbest things I could possibly do. Tweezers? Really? Fire rescue and your medical kit has tweezers and alcohol swab. For fire team splinter rescue. Sounds about right. Alright, I am going to spend the rest of the day driving around trying to find other siren vehicles that might be usable. There we go. But before I do that, let's top this tank up. And top my gas can up. I don't think that there is a... Like, I don't think if I go to, like, a hospital's parking lot, I'm more likely to find ambulances. I think it's just chance. There is a hospital here. I could drive by it and figure if that's actually a thing or not. So maybe I try that. I'm also getting hungry. And of course, I didn't bring food with me again. I did, however, bring metal sheets so I could repair the hood that I've obviously busted up. Okay, I'm just consulting the map, the website map of Louisville. I forget where the hospital is. Louis here is a Louisville native. That's why he knows all these things. God, where is the hospital? Hotel, hit vids, go flash. I don't think it's that close. Oh, yeah, it's near the entrance. I'll try it. All right, so I'll mark it on the map so you guys know where I'm headed. So the hospital is this pink structure here. So where those red arrows are is where I'm headed. It's not exactly close. And it's relatively late in the day, so this is kind of a foolish thing to do, especially in this wagon. But whatever. You guys voted for me to find a siren vehicle. I'm going to try. So I'm going to be driving on this road until it ends. Take the left, take the left, take the right. I'm basically just driving to the military checkpoint. If I don't find any vehicles down there, I don't know. We could decide to pick a different daily driver. And maybe I even find one on the drive over. You never know. Could get lucky. Oh yeah, here's a cop car. Looks pretty beat up, but I'll check it. Definitely attracted some attention here. Might be getting into the territory of let's just run them over. So I'll drag them away from the car and then get in the driver's seat. That was interesting. I saw like a combat number, despite the fact that I'm in the car. But obviously, I have not been in this neighborhood before, because it is crawling. Yeah, that might be good. Check the cops for keys. It'd be nice to have. No, a fresh bulletproof vest, sure. That cop car does not look like it's in super healthy condition either, but whatever. Sometimes looks can be deceiving. I think there's a bunch of zombies on the other side of this fence, too. I can hear some growling. I'm also getting tired. It's 4 p.m. Already getting drowsy. Oh, yeah. This one's a real winner. It is beat to hell. It might have some shotgun shells in the trunk or something, so I'm going to break it open anyway. Most of the, like, the emergency vehicles that you find in the game typically are, like, 10% HP. That's something I've noticed from anecdotal experience, that they were just designed to be beat to hell. Shotgun, road cone, roadblock. How do you fit that in your trunk? Man, it's a pretty expansive trunk you got there. I'm gonna leave the shotgun behind though. Did I check the glove? Oh yeah, I did. Had the walkie-talkie. There are some rounds in the shotgun? Yeah, I know. I don't need ammo that badly that I care. You have to remember that, like, in Zomboid, looting a shotgun out of a trunk, removing the shells out of the shotgun, and then putting the shotgun back takes, like, an in-game day. Or hour, rather. So when it's already almost 5 p.m., is spending an hour to get 5 shotgun shells worth it? I would argue no. I'm not that desperate. As I have, like, several thousand shotgun shells back in the base. A difference of 4 is pretty negligible. Where am I? Okay. Yeah, I should probably turn back. Unless I'm willing to eat all of my vitamins. Yeah, I don't know if you caught, but like an extension of my main base is a shooting range and a gun store, which has, I don't know how many boxes of shells I've got, but it's quite a lot. So bullets are pretty low on the priority of things that Louis needs. Figured I'd cruise through this parking lot. Nope. Nothing with a siren. That white step truck back looked like in pretty good condition, but that's not what you guys voted on. Oh god, this thing handles poor. It drives like the boat it is. Is this a hearse? It's a Chevy Cerise wagon, according to the game. Painted black, so probably a hearse? So if I don't think hearses have the rear window... Oh my lord, is there a lot of zombies around here. I don't think hearses have rear windows like this one does. Could be wrong. Maybe some of them do. Revote if nothing's usable at the hospital? Oops. That was not good. Yeah, well, what's going to happen is tomorrow I'm going to work on a different task. So I'll revote if working on a vehicle becomes the goal again. But I'll just continue to use the van unless finding a siren vehicle becomes the goal. So we have a cemetery. That's where this hearse would fit in. I'm getting kind of close to the hospital. And I'm pretty much just going to be able to do a drive-by of the potential vehicles. It's not like I'm going to hop out and actually grab one, I don't think, given that I'm exhausted in-game and it's getting dark. And there are, like, hundreds of zombies around. But the hospital should be just past this intersection, I think. Let me double check. Yep, yeah, I'm basically there. So it is here. This is the gas station. Well, I gotta say, I don't see any emergency vehicles. My original theory seems to be correct that... Oh, well, there's a ranger car up that way, I guess. And it looks in pretty good condition. And they do have sirens. But it doesn't seem like, because this is a hospital, it has more ambulances or anything like that. It just seems like just a random smattering of cars. So any parking lot is as good as a hospital's parking lot as far as finding emergency vehicles, I guess. Because it's all chance. I think there's probably a ton of zombies in this hospital because the game is chunking. Alright, let's drive home. I know where a sirened vehicle is, but I am ill-equipped to obtain it at this moment. You wish this game was more controller-friendly? I mean, I wish that it would be more controller-friendly, but what I can tell you is it will never be controller-friendly, because it's, it requires too many keys that I don't think it can really ever be adapted to a controller. Also, there's so much finesse required for combat. Combat looks really, really, really simple, but anyone that has played Zomboid knows looks are deceiving, and the combat in this game is particularly difficult and very easy to mess up and die, which is why it's really frustrating to new players. And I think that a lot of the times the difference between a hit and a miss is a few pixels, and a few pixels is something that like a mouse and keyboard can make up for, but a few pixels is not something that a controller can handle. So if this was ever console or controller adapted, it would need to be dumbed down incredibly to accommodate for the inaccuracy of controllers. You would need like auto aim, you know, sort of like Zomboid training wheels. It's just definitely not one of those games that is going to be adaptable. Alright, where left turn is at the next major intersection. My hood is about to give out. The engine's holding up, though, which is good. So if these vehicles, this news truck, the Kentucky Herald vehicle, looks in pretty good condition if that's something that you want me to grab. Even the van that I currently drive is in... the mail truck that I currently drive is in pretty good condition. It's not unreasonable. But you guys will have the option to vote again for it. Ice cream truck? If only they existed. Okay, hood's out, so any further damage gets translated to the engine block. You don't care if it's a zombie apocalypse, you'd rather be caught dead than driving a station wagon? You know what's funny about that is I'm driving a station wagon because I was going to switch vehicles, so I picked this vehicle because I was going to ditch it. Because it was not a vehicle that I planned on keeping. So... but personally, I take no issue with station wagons. My wife has a station wagon that I'm happy to drive. One of them old Volvos. Steel tank of a car. Guzzles oil. Like Louis here guzzles pop. Well, that was quite the trip. Pretty fruitless. But I did check 3 vehicles. So, my promise to you to try to find a siren vehicle has been lived up to. I tried. Yeah, this looks like the old paneled wagons, the Woodies. It is. I mean, essentially, this is a Woody, it's just painted black. Same sort of idea, though. What's the point of the game? It's a sandbox game, so same point of every sandbox game. Which is... it's a sandbox. You play in it. What's my thought on the Last of Us series? I haven't watched it. I have a very demanding full-time job and a baby. So the amount of free time I have is 0. I haven't watched a TV show in years. So perhaps that answers your question. I do watch TV, but like cartoons that are like 10 minutes long. Because that's what I have time for. Sorry, just asking? Yeah, no problem. It's funny, my real life friends know, so they know not to like spoil anything, but that I haven't really significantly watched like a real TV show and not just like reruns that I can have on in the background as I'm doing house chores and the like. Like I haven't settled into a TV show in so long. That's just the way it is. So in 6 years, I'll have a backlog. Exactly. You understand. Ready for harvest, but not seeded. Young. Okay. Don't tell me that the Titanic sinks. See, the thing is, I knew that. From history class. I knew the Titanic sunk before the movie ever came out. Kind of famous. Perfect example of human hubris. And, criminal negligence. Kind of a perfect mix of the two. Completely did not need to sink. I'm just trying to tidy up the old inventory. Tomorrow you guys want me to build safe exits. Got it. I'll update that. So for that I'm going to need more wood. So that I can actually build stuff. So I'll probably go next door and do additional dismantling of infrastructure for wood planks. That will level up my carpentry, and it will also give me the materials I need to do any sort of building. You imagine in your head that I know about Dora the Explorer? No, I mean, babies aren't even supposed to have TV on at all. Like, until they're older. It hinders their development, so I'm not watching cartoons with my kid. I just have cartoons on that are background. When I watch TV, this is just a personal thing, but when I watch TV, like a show that I'm interested in, I have to be 100% focused on it. I can't like half watch TV. I'm not. I talked actually about this somewhat recently, but like I can't have things on in the background. Yeah, I don't multitask like that. So if I'm like folding laundry or doing dishes, I'll have the radio on or something like that. But or music. But the TV shows I've been watching have just been like filler TV shows, like rewatching, you know, Supernatural or anime, that kind of thing. Nothing like some oven-baked cabbage. Just what nobody wants to eat. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment a little bit on safe exit designs. I don't have a definitive answer as to what is a safe exit design yet. But we're going to come up with one. I do have some concepts of what I consider safe exit designs, though. But before I start that, I'm just going to finish up reading the metalwork book so that I can dismantle everything that I see in the neighboring buildings. So given that my carpentry is only level 3, I'm not likely to level that up. So there are no skill books that I could bother reading at the moment, other than like fishing, trapping, foraging. I guess I could start to read foraging, but urban foraging is not nearly as fruitful as you'd think. It's not like dumpster diving where you're going to be happy with what you get. It's like, oh, you found a cockroach. Yay! The other thing is, my carpentry skill is not that great. So, one of the other issues I'm going to have is that the constructions that I make are going to be really ugly until I have a higher level carpentry. Which is fine. Just to let you all know. You're all due for some hideous construction. Is this chair impossible to break down? It seems it. Invulnerable office chairs. I'm just breaking everything. Getting like 1 wood per 10. Something like that. I'm sort of curious how many zombies on upper floors have been already dealt with in this building. Because if you recall, I did a lot of shooting around this building, and it might be possible that I've like sort of cleared it. Oh, no, what are you doing? Sort of cleared it out, but who knows? The scrap wood can be used as a fuel source. It's actually a pretty efficient fuel source. So if you have an antique stove and you're trying to keep yourself warm or cook or whatever, or campfire, it's not quite as good as logs, but there's no other use for the scrap wood other than fuel source. Whereas scrap metal, unless I'm wrong, really can't be used. So I think what I'm going to do is, in order to do safe exit, I want to put a door, maybe one to the southeast, one to the northwest. So I'm going to put a door here, where this wall is. I can't build a gangplank on the other side of a window without knocking down the wall, so I have to knock down the wall anyway. Oh, right. Scrap can be used to make engine parts. But you need a mod for that. Yeah. I mean, it has uses, but you need a mod for it. So, for me, with my Near Zero mod series here, it don't do anything. Gonna leave this sack of potatoes on the floor. Defrost it. Okay, so with those knocked out, I will replace those walls with doors, and those doors will be the exit points. I can also consider having an exit point where this trash can is, once I come up with a sort of blueprint for it. So then the idea is to put down wooden floors so that we can see if it's safe or not. And probably the best design would be one sort of like a torus. So that it's a donut hole with a hole in the middle so that you can see if there's zombies around. Because if you just have a straight gangplank, it's not necessarily going to be clear whether you've got company around you or not. So I'm also going to have this be really wide so that it's easier to use and safer to use. So that I don't fall off the edges. Which means I need wood, obviously. And unfortunately, it's going to be really ugly flooring because I don't have good carpenter skill at the moment. So I'll come up with the design in the southern hole in the wall, and then we'll replicate that to the northwest. And these are going to be ways for me to look at the ground before I climb down. That way it's not a leap of faith every time I want to exit the base. It just ain't safe. Have a piece of an oak bed. It's too bad that you can't dismantle the pieces of furniture that you've ruined for wood return. That'd be nice. And then while I'm here, I might as well destroy everything. The extra skill gain. Aw. Kind of hoping that was going to find food. That would be no. Not really sure what food I would find this late in the this late in the game. I've been alive for 20 days, but it's almost September. So we've been without power for a long time. Did the toilet yield a plank? Did it? No, it's a metal pipe. The counter yielded a plank. Also going to need hinges and doorknobs for the doors that I'm going to build. Might as well grab those. Once my carpentry skill gets a little better, I can also add a new garage door to where it broke on the warehouse. God, my skills are so bad. CN White, I'm glad that you like the series. You prefer the YouTube format? Yeah, well, however you want to watch it. That, friend, is up to you. I had this sudden feeling like I had never cleared out this bathroom and there was going to be a zombie on the other side. I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't be so cavalier about busting in here. It's very unlikely that there would be a zombie, because, like, I made a lot of noise in this area and lured them all out, probably, but I'm sure there's still one or two stuck. That wouldn't surprise me. So my carpentry is closing in on 4. Let's get building again. Another thing they still haven't done is even secured the bottom floor of this either. Which I think, to my mind, is included in the whole safe exit project, because it's not a safe exit until it's secured. So, doing a quick circle around the middle point will allow me to see everything that would be directly underneath me, I think. It would be better if it was like metal bars or grates or whatever, but I don't think that's something the player can build. And then I'm going to make it a little wider. Maybe I can... The worry that I have is if I add handrails or whatever, it's going to block line of sight. But the damage that you take from falling down one floor is pretty negligible anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. So it's just a weird donut-y thing. I could add pillars. I could add pillars on the bottom floor. Not that they would do anything. They'd really only block line of sight. But if you want it to look more possible physics-wise. Because I get that what I'm building right now looks ridiculously impossible. Barbed wire fences don't block line of sight? True. I don't want to have to go through barbed wire, though. That sounds not fun. And I'll continue this task for tomorrow. I'm not going to just do a day on it. I'll do it until it's done. Oh, I'm on the stairs. I was like, I can't get to my kitchen. How's my weight? 78 and falling. Not bad. Who needs physics? Exactly. the king wants to defy physics, let him. Physics are for peasants, not for royalty. I'm really building up quite the periodical library here. For all the pleasure reading. The high waist chain fences, but they require a lot of metal pipes and metal sheets. Yes, they do. Also, I don't have the skill to do it. I think that would be something that I would add in once I obtain the metalworking skill for safety. That's a really wise idea. I do also think it's out of the scope of the current project. I just want the safe exits for me not being eaten by zombies, not the safe exits for me not falling one story. But a one-story fall is really not a big deal unless you're falling into zombies, which I could definitely see myself doing. But I will do my best not to fall into a swarm of zombies. I think my crowbar needs to be retired. It has like, nah. I'll keep using it suicidally. Also should, something I should have done before I did any of what I did yesterday, I should have had my battle gear on to protect me from potential lunges and bites and the like, even if it overheats me. Seed-bearing carrots. Oh, cool. Now, unlike other skills, I generally just keep farming, even if I've run out of like book knowledge, because it's having food is more important than having the skills most of the time. And carrots are really effective to trap animals, too. How'd you get dirt on the top of the roof? I bagged it up in a sack, in potato sacks, and carried it up here. For that, you need an empty sack and a shovel. Yep. Never thought of that? It's very effective. Ready to harvest, but not seeding. Young tomato still. So I think maybe the broccoli will be next. Or potatoes. Their water levels are getting low, though, so I might need to do some manual watering. If it doesn't rain soon. Well, let's get back to some demo. What I might end up doing is just having this one safe exit, and then if you guys want another one, I'll just do another one because it's taken a while. Oh, I forgot to bring my trowel. Put that away. Yeah, so as long as you have a empty sack, so if you find like a bag of rice in a warehouse, you can, a bag of sand in a warehouse, you can just also dump the sand out, or bag of gravel. And then you'll have the option, when you have a shovel, to take dirt when you right-click on, like, grass. And when you take the dirt, it will put dirt into the bag, and then you can pour dirt out where you want to grow crops, allowing you to grow on rooftops or wherever you want to put them. I think I heard something. Oh yeah. Hi. Y'all are kind of in the wrong neighborhood. See, this is owned by me, and you're trespassing. I will take your drugs. And matches. A royal shakedown, if you will. I don't think I have a frying pan at home. That'd be good to have. Whoa, what was that? Louis just did like a 360. Oh, you're eyeballing the ice cream? It's rotted ice cream. Oh, no, it's fresh. Wait, how is it fresh? Dibs. Thanks for noticing. I don't actually understand why it's fresh. Because I've definitely been close enough to this apartment building to have triggered its loot table to be set in stone. But I don't care. Magically fresh ice cream. I'm definitely not powering up this room though. So it's not that my generator has this kind of range. Just bugs. The lifespan of a of ice cream is like fresh, frozen, fresh, melted, and then rotted. Oh, follower goal just completed. Awesome. I'm gonna have to plan something. Well, thank you, Xtura. You were the final follower. No, this building is still part of the same chunk that I live in. So it doesn't explain it. Nothing, I'll just be honest, nothing explains it. Like, knowing the game mechanics that I know. Why that ice cream was good is unexplainable, but I don't care. Because I ate it. And I needed the calories. Yeah, this is fresh too. Maybe they changed it or something. I'll eat this too. Maybe they changed it so that it's... I didn't check recent patch notes. I don't know. Maybe they changed it back. out of like popular demand for like never melting ice cream. Or maybe it's just a bug. Probably just a bug. It used to be for the longest time that ice cream would always be good. It would just melt but never rot. Like it was somehow made of Twinkie or something. And then they changed it so that it rotted recently. So perhaps they changed it back. Oh, there's a bug that it goes from rotted to melted. Oh, that's a fun bug. Pretty convenient for the player. When you have rotted ice cream, just wait long enough and all of a sudden it's not rotted anymore. Seems fair to me. Oops. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That'll work 3. I'm glad I'm grabbing all of the periodicals because I'm getting so bored doing this. Character's like, I hate you. It's okay, you can hate me. I'm not going to spare you from this monotony. People have spoken. This is what they want. Let's see if I can't compress my loot to be able to bring this shelf home with me today. A little extra lovely storage would be nice. Don't dismantle it. Pick it up. Nope. Well, I'll have half of it. Hey, Rawl. Slaying goes pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Right now, I'm trying to build a safer way to exit the base rather than just like blindly sheet roping out a window, hoping that there's no zombies underneath me. I'm sure you know the feels. But yeah, Louisville is it's unforgiving, but it's treating Louis here pretty nice. Thank you for tuning in to Project Zomboid, King of Louisville, which originally streamed live on Twitch February 9th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch any live streams of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Stay safe out there in the zombie apocalypse.